Hey everyone, I am back at it with some more team format videos. These videos definitely take a lot of time to edit and make, which is why a lot of this footage is quite backlogged. But if you're enjoying them, please let me know so I could kind of prioritize that more on my list of to-dos. If you've been following along with my sporadic Go Team Up Worlds video footage, you'll know that my team, the Cool Cats, made it through the first stage of Go Team Up Worlds, and we are now in Group Stage 2. In Group Stage 2, we are paired up against one of the teams we faced earlier, and Arbok, which we don't have to play again. They pretty much get the win because they won the head-to-head in Group Stage 1, but we do have to battle against WeTapFaster and Munchlax and Chill. So today's video is going to highlight the battles between WeTapFaster, and most of their members end up forming a new team called Team Grookey. So if you have heard of those things before, a lot of them are the same players. For Group Stage 2, we pretty much have to beat WeTapFaster and Munchlax and Chill to have a chance at the semifinals. So that's kind of the context while we head into these battles. If you're not familiar with the format of Go Team Up Worlds, it is sets of 5 with 4v4, and it's a team draft style, so you can't have repeating mons on each team. There's a bunch of other rules too, so feel free to check out my previous videos on it where I highlight the different rules. Before we get into the battles, a big shout out to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to my strategies and lineups, as well as my various guides on how to use these teams and additional behind the scenes footage, feel free to sign up in the Patreon link down below. In our first matchup of our team, we do have the TheChaoticAce on my team going against EJKA. I'll just call it EJ for short. I'm not really sure what they go by. In this specific matchup, you'll see that there's the double down DD signifier for EJ, and if you aren't familiar with Go Team Up formats, you essentially choose one player on each team to be your double down, and in this situation they earn twice the amount of points for every win they get. This is a very crucial matchup because every point that the TheChaoticAce denies EJ of, we're essentially denying 2 big points, so there is definitely a lot of positives here. So able to do quite a bit of work with this Politoed, and then coming in with the Deoxys defense, which is kind of an interesting matchup against this Umbreon. It's not great for Deoxys defense just because how bulky Umbreon is. You are doing super effective non-stab counters though, whereas they're doing stab super effective foul plays. So let's see how this shakes out. The TheChaoticAce does have a shield advantage, so that is definitely in his favor there. And the Machamp is kind of low. Oh, he ends up catching a move on the Machamp. Wow. Really nice catch, but ends up being a Psycho Boost. And then at this point, it's looking pretty good for TheChaoticAce actually, and he is able to counter down. So big first win against EJ here. Definitely going to help our team quite a bit. Where are you going, Chegs? All right. So very solid lead here. Does end up shielding the Rock Slide, which is absolutely huge, and then swaps over to the Politoed against Umbreon. This is these battles were from a bit ago, so this is before Weather Ball was nerfed. So these Weather Balls are hitting a little bit harder than they are these days. So good for TheChaoticAce, bad for EJ for sure. But yeah, both fairly bulky mons. I think TheChaoticAce just wants to maintain switch advantage as possible, although I do believe he has a Skarmory in the back. So switch advantage is not nearly as crucial for the TheChaoticAce here. As you can see, he's just going to give it up, and he's going to just farm down with this Skarmory. This Alolan Marowak is actually very strong for TheChaoticAce actually, because there's only really one reliable check to it, which is the Umbreon here. So he is in a very commanding spot, picking a pretty safe line, knowing that the Shadow Machamp has a lot of play against his team. So he is going to and gets that last Bone Club off. Heads up too, I haven't seen any of these footage and these battles from my teammates. I've only seen my own battles. So a lot of this is actually quite new to me, despite the fact that these battles took place a while ago. So able to shield the Cross Chop and farm down the Umbreon as well too. Really strong, solid plays by TheChaoticAce here. All right, up 2-0, so absolutely huge. Denying big points from EJ and WeTapFaster. That could have been 4 points for them if EJ won those. Getting a slight energy lead and then swapping to that Skarmory. Skarmory very, very strong here. Fairly neutral pretty much against EJ's entire team outside of the Melmetal. But Melmetal is much harder to bring into this team with the Deoxys Defense, the AWAC, the Politoed, the Diggersby. Unfortunately, cannot get to that Brave Bird. He was going for that Brave Bird. Maybe he should just thrown the Sky Attack there. But he at least gets the Umbreon out of the way, which is definitely a threat for this AWAC. And let's see what he does after this. So comes back in with the Machamp. And then this is a very uncomfortable bait matchup, I think, on both ends. He does get a defense drop here. This might be a bait. Nope, he does correctly shield the Bone Club. He is slightly ahead, but there are Fire Spins going through on these, so not ideal. Definitely going to have to shield here. This, again, another Bone Club. Wow, okay. So EJ just not baiting either, and both players going straight for the Shadow Bones here. And this is Rock Slide is definitely a KO. And unfortunately, this Weather Ball probably is not enough. And this Shadow Machamp should be able to get their Cross Chop in time. And just barely. Yeah, I don't know if ChaoticAce could have done anything. Maybe if he took out the landed a Sky Attack on the Umbreon, he could farm up a little extra energy on the Politoed there. But I understand trying to go for the Brave Bird for sure as well. All right. Using that safe swap Skarmory, really not scared of that Melmetal. So, really just going for it, and it's definitely paying off here too, because able to flip switch or grab a shield from this AWAC, and he does grab the shield. This is good and bad, I guess. Does have to come in with his AWAC and tank this Shadow Bone, which is not ideal, but he pretty much just needs, you know, to just do as much as he can. Unfortunately, does CMP on that Bone Club too. A little unfortunate. Here comes the Umbreon, and it's going to be Shadow Machamp. Shadow Machamp's counters just really add up here. This looks pretty tough for ChaoticAce because Umbreon's very healthy too, and this Politoed is neutral at best against the Umbreon, and down this much health is just going to be a tough one. He does go for this last Weather Ball here, and does take out the Machamp, but way too much health on this Umbreon. This Umbreon's still full health at this point. So, EJ grabbing another 2 points for his team. So, very, very good for sure. Now it's 4-2 again because EJ's to double down. Definitely going to earn double the points here. All right. Going again for this Skarmory safe swap. And this almost looks like the same exact match in some ways. I think the lead was a little different, to my knowledge. But yeah, so coming in with... Oh, no, maybe the lead was the same. Sorry, I might have missed that. But this time around, going straight for the potential farm down. Yeah, okay. Comes in with the Machamp here. Goes straight for the Earthquake. I like this play. It's a big nuke. Unfortunately, it gets shielded. And that might be it for ChaoticAce here, because the shielded Earthquake ends up really making this tougher for him. He does Weather Ball down though, but there's a whole Pokemon in the back. My guess this is an Umbreon. We shall see though. And it is, yeah. Full health Umbreon. This is going to be really tough. EJ pretty much playing the same line. ChaoticAce pretty much playing the same line as well. He did have DD in one of the earlier battles. But for the most part, it was just a Politoed AWAC Skarmory core. Politoed Skarmory core is really strong, but yeah, unfortunately, with some tough matchups. So EJ earns 2 more points, so it's 6-2 right now. Now we got CochinoMum versus AdibKhan, and both are just standard matchups, so no double points here. But there are 5 points up for grabs. So CochinoMum definitely in a solid spot here, farming this Mew all the way down. Yeah, this Sableye is going to put in work here. Does land the return, and then now going for this foul play here. This is going to be a little dicey because this Politoed, especially if it has Earthquake, can definitely do some damage. Brings in this Toxicroak, and this is actually a pretty smart play because this Politoed has to go for Earthquake to take out this Toxicroak, which means... Oh, no, they go for the Weather Ball. Interesting. So I guess double Weather Ball, but this Melmetal is going to be a hard wall to this Altaria. I was going to say Skarmory. And I believe, yeah, she just doubles up, and you can throw a Rock Slide right after. Melmetal should win CMP here. and goes straight for the superpower for good measure. And yeah, finishes off Adib in the first battle. So earning a point for the cool Catz. Looking like a really fantastic lead there. And then now coming in with Sableye to counter swap the Politoed. Of course, again, this is before Weather Ball was nerfed, so definitely a better matchup for Politoed, but Sableye does hit quite hard as well, so definitely no joke here, and I believe she probably lets this one go. Yep. Does get to this last foul play, which is absolutely huge, and able to maintain switch advantage. That's really nice. This Abomasnow really has nowhere to go, to be honest. And then here comes the Kanto Ninetales, which also doesn't do great against this backline. Is just going to go for this double Mud Bomb, and in a really tough spot here. Even goes for the catch here. Yeah, definitely the nail on the coffin for this matchup for sure. This Melmetal having a lot of play here. Looking at this specific matchup, I kind of wish we made CochinoMum our double down, because she's definitely putting on a very dominating performance here. All right, coming in Politoed here into the Sableye is going to again be kind of a similar matchup, and then she comes in with this Toxic again. This looks way too quick for Earthquake. Goes straight for Weather Ball. Again, this is pre-Weather Ball nerf, so these actually do kind of hurt. And she's going for the Mud Bomb here. Adib probably does not shield. No, does shield. Okay. Politoed should live that Mud Bomb, but I think she was very content with just letting that go. Farming up a bunch of energy here. And then just going to let this Weather Ball go too. So I think Adib might be running a Blizzard Politoed. That is definitely possible. But she's going to go for a hard farm down here. And then this Mew is going to go probably for a Dragon Claw. I was going to say Surf because it's way too fast for a Wild Charge. Fortunately, the Sableye still survives it. And oh my gosh. And simultaneously KOing each other. And then now we have this dreaded Melmetal versus Altaria matchup, looking very, very strong for Melmetal despite its low health, and able to, yeah, Thundershock it down. All right. Man, talk about a tough lead. All right. Altaria coming in here. We finally really get to see if this has Blizzard or not. She does go for the shield, does get baited by the Weather Ball. This might be a Blizzard. No, it's not a Blizzard. I wonder why Adib is running there. Yeah, she's not going to shield this one either. Maybe it is Earthquake. Wow, okay. So I guess we really don't know what the move is. I'm friends with Adib, so I might shoot him a message later and ask him what he was running on this Politoed, but very curious. All right, so definitely in a very solid position here, and again, in a very, strong position for CochinoMum as well, and then this is really gotta be like an overheat for it to matter, but she's going to shield just to be safe, because once this Ninetales is out of the way, this Melmetal is going to put in work. Also having a foul play, yeah, this was a tough set for Adib for sure. CochinoMum also played it very, very well. Definitely credit where credit is due there. Now, again, looking at this now, I do got some big regrets about not making CochinoMum our double down. So 4-0 so far in this set from CochinoMum. Very, very impressive. Is matched up finally against a more favorable lead for Adib. Recognizing that it is going to be just Dragon Claw, having seen both movesets as well at this point. And then comes in with the Sableye. Might be a Wild Charge here, and it is. She's going to shield, and then it's the Abomasnow. It's a fairly neutral matchup for the most part. Abomasnow doesn't really want to tank too much of this, but this is a non-Shadow Abomasnow. Again, this is also pre-Weather Ball nerf for the Abomasnow, but I don't think it would have made a difference here in this matchup. And then she is going to go with the Melmetal farm down. It's actually, I kind of like this play. It's not a bad play here because it does get hit by... I wonder if the play is she throws a Rock Slide first, but it does get hit by an Energy Ball, which does a lot of damage there. And then there's a Politoed in the back. If it's Politoed in the back, it could be trouble. And it is a Politoed in the back. Interesting enough, we never saw the Vigoroth, but Vigoroth is not great, I guess, against Sableye. Not the best against Altaria, and probably expecting the Toxic Rogue every time, too. So she's going to shield here, but I believe that she gets outpaced. Yeah, And so Adib does come away with a point here. So putting up We Tap Faster up 1 point. And then now we have Ervo in this matchup against Hareluyaboyz. And yeah, going to be pretty solid here. This is, again, pre-weather ball nerf, so all these weather balls are looking real good on these different teams. Does shield the Psycho Boost here, and here comes the Sableye. And the Sableye is going to be kind of a more neutral matchup versus Tropius, but Tropius should win it, especially with this health difference. Does no shield the return, which is fine because he knows that the Deoxys defense cannot, what do you call it, counter down. Does go for the aerial ace to just do some chip damage here, and then we have a Registeel in the back. This is absolutely huge. And then able to, unfortunately cannot get to that weather ball, but no shields or rock slide. And then surprisingly goes for the Focus Blast. It is a better move, but shields are up. I would have expected maybe a Flash Cannon Baits, but going for the big hard hitting move, recognizing that his opponent probably won't throw Brave Bird just yet. And then going straight again for another Focus Blast. Let's see if this is going to be a Brave Bird or not. No, it's not. It is going to be a Sky Attack. And this probably is the Brave Bird there. And it is, yeah. So really well played by Hareluyaboyz in a tough matchup. But yeah, this is pre-Zap Cannon Registeel as well. Obviously, Zap Cannon Registeel would have been disastrous for that Skarmory. All right. Going straight for the weather balls here against this Skarmory, building up to that Thunder. Good play decisions here, and going for the Thunder now. And Hareluyaboyz double shields there. Wow. Okay, so really wants switch advantage here for sure. Ervel's just very okay with letting that go. Comes in with the Registeel. Registeel looks very strong against this team. You know, it does have the Meganium it has to watch out for. Not the best matchup in the Scrafty, but it does have Focus Blast for Scrafty. Those Flash Cannons really add up against the Deoxys defense. Really strong versus that Probopass. And pretty neutral against the Sableye as well. Sableye with energy is kind of deadly, but recognizing that this Registeel with energy is even deadlier. So just no shielding, farming down. Let's see what they got in the back. It's going to be a tough one for sure. Throws a Focus Blast on the Scrafty, so it is a Scrafty. Unfortunately, not enough to KO here, and no shields, a foul play. Wow, big foul play from Hareluyaboyz, and really, yeah, making that work. So that's a scary lead for sure. Comes in with the Rainy Cast. I believe this matchup is actually quite favorable for Rainy Cast pre-Weather Ball nerf. It's been a while, so I'm not really sure. But the weather ball, the water gun damage is really adding up here. And we see that these spamming weather balls are definitely putting in some work. Hareluyaboyz just going for these rock slides. Yeah, Raining Cast Swarm, able to flip this match. That's absolutely huge because this Meganium has no play. Absolutely no play against this Tropius. And then comes in, and that's a tough matchup too. So I want to say it's complete RPS. Obviously, the Raining Cast is kind of more neutral versus the Deoxys defense, but able to align these two mons in the back and the lead Meganium into the Tropius is definitely a tough spot for Hareluyaboyz. And yeah, this Meganium is going to go straight for the aerial ace to KO this Meganium. Nothing pretty much walls off the Meganium harder than a Tropius, I believe. All right, so as you've seen before, it's a pretty positive matchup for Ervo. So Ervo is going to start weather balling away, and yeah, it's gonna let the Psycho Boost go through, and then here comes a Sableye. I assume he probably comes in Tropius here, and he does. Again, a fairly more neutral matchup. Sableye has energy advantage, but Tropius does have the shield advantage. And even if it's a return, no big deal. Probably is a return. No, it's a foul play. Okay. Everyone knows you can take it. He is going to shield here in case if it's Skarmory, it's Skarmory. If not, and it is Skarmory. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of the same mons on both ends here. Sometimes that's kind of how it happens with the different team comps. Going for 2 aerial aces though. Able to get 2 off, which is kind of nice chip damage. And then here comes the Registeel. This might be a Brave Bird. Might be worth shielding. No, it does not shield. That's fine. And then draws the energy from this Deoxys defense. Ends up being a Psycho Boost. And then, oh man, is he going for a lockdown down? That's actually, yeah, okay. Very aggressive play by Airvel, but I like it. I think it is definitely a win con because now he can safely go for 2 Focus Blasts. Those double Aerial Aces chipping down the Skarmory actually come in handy here. It's going to be close though still. Can he lock on down the Skarmory? And I believe he could, unless I don't think they double up to 2 Sky Attacks. No. Wow, okay, so Airvel evening up the score 2-2 apiece, despite a tough lead 0-2 start. All right, Retail Faster is still up by 1 point here, and then we are going into this very spammy matchup between the two, the Weather Baller and the Sableye. But yeah, this water gun damage is really adding up here. It's really making the difference in this matchup, but decides to... Oh, okay. Interesting shields. Oh, no, he does get it off. I thought he wouldn't get off the Weather Ball. But does come in to this the Deoxys defense here, and now is able to, throw these Flash Cannons, which do a ton of damage. This is not a great matchup for Deoxys defense, especially shields down, and if they're not running Thunderbolts, which this one is not. Going straight Rock Slide here, not wanting to debuff, and farms all the way down. Massive farm down, just spams the Flash Cannon, no big deal, just want to get rid of the Sableye at this point. And then now we have a very solid matchup with the Tropius versus the Scrappy here. So, very well done, actually, by Airvel to come back from an 0-2 deficit and make it 3-2. So, we are all tied up going into the final set, and it is yours truly, myself, versus Spectre. I was our double down on our team, so we thought that we had the best matchup, but looking back on it, maybe CochinoMum had the best matchup. But I am running my Wild Charge Surf Mew, and then Spectre is going to safe swap into that Venusaur, and I believe, yeah, I don't know if he just overfarmed and throw or not. Or maybe I was able to come in on even energy there. But I am going to shield that Flash Cannon. I'm just going to throw an Avalanche. It's going to do a good chunk of damage. And does shield. This Frost Ice has a lot of play against the backline. But I am going to just let it go at this point. And then I come in with my Mew. Throwing the Wild Charge. Let's see if he shields. No shields. And I come in my Venusaur here. This is going to do a lot of damage. And I could tank a Flash Cannon pretty well. And I think Spectre realizes it and lets it go. All right. So up 2 points here. I believe we just need 2 more. 1 more win. And we should be... we have the victory clinched. Yeah, because they can only get 3 points at that point. And I just need 4 points for my double down points. All right. Kind of a, not the most fun matchup for sure, but able to go for a Sludge Bomb here, and I was trying to go for this Frenzy Plant, unfortunately not enough, giving this Pelipper a lot of energy, I'm gonna go for the Weather Ball, or the Wild Charge, because I could throw it and dip to my Frost here, but besides no shields, and I come in with my Frost. This is going to try to wear down this Venusaur, and it is going to be the Registeel, which, it's a tough one. Full health Registeel with a shield advantage is going to be pretty disastrous for my backline. I think I got a little bit greedy there earlier, trying to get to that Frenzy Plant versus the Pelipper. I think that definitely was my loose con there. Unfortunately, also, I didn't really have a great check to the Pelipper safe swap, so that also put me in a tough spot. So, Spectre still keeping his team in this matchup for sure. We do have a not so great lead matchup for me, but I am going to swap over, and we do get a bad counter swap here too. So not the greatest, but these Frenzy Plants do chunk, and I do live a Flash Cannon pretty easily here. So I'm going to no shield this. Mew with energy is very solid against the opposing team. It's really only the Venusaur that resists it. Able to actually beat the Registeel there. Looking like I'm going straight for the Wild Charge. Let's see if I go for it or not. And then the Venusaur comes in. And then I probably throw the wild charge here. Let's see if they shield or not. And they don't shield. So I come in with my Pelipper here. I thought I had a Frost Lesson back, but this is actually pretty solid because I have a huge health advantage. And I'm going to go straight for the Weather Balls. Spectre does go straight for the Hurricane, which is definitely a great move if I no-shield it. But at this point, I'm just content with just trying to farm down at this point. Does have to go straight for the Hurricane to have a chance, and is going to let it go, realizing that it's a little too late. All right, so able to grab the matchup win against WeTap Faster with that wind. But we're obviously going to play out the rest of our matches here. And very solid, for the most part, matchup. Both mons are going to do a lot of damage on both sides. The wing attacks adding up, and then the Frenzy's doing a ton. I am coming in with my Mew at this point. Mew can tank the flash cannons, and with that chip damage from the Frenzy plant, it's actually kind of nice. If I didn't have that Frenzy plant damage, despite them catching it, I'd probably be in a tougher spot. So, oh, I decided no shield. I had the move ready. I guess I just want the energy here. And yeah, okay. I'm coming in with energy loaded Frostlass, which is very good against the whole team pretty much, besides the... Wow, okay, I get to the Frenzy too. It's like weird looking back on my gameplay because I'm not even sure what I'm thinking at the time. But I have an energy loaded Frostlass, and this looks very, very good for me. I am going to overfarm here a little bit just in case they're trying to catch. But I still have a shield left and able to finish off the Regiseal. So grabbing another win for good measure, and then we have a little bit more neutral matchup here. But I decided to go for the Venusaur safe swap. I think I'm just trying to lure out the Regiseal. This combo of Venusaur, Frostlass, and Mew has been doing pretty well for me in this entire set. I'm just mixing it up, essentially. Everything else pretty much doesn't have a ton of play against the team, so... but it's working, despite the fact that Regiseal is a strong counter to both Venusaur and Frostlass. But, yeah, I don't know. It's doing pretty well. And now I'm going to try to farm down the Spellpar. I'm going to let this Weather Ball go. It ends up being a Hurricane, so not great. I do have a move stored on my Mew, so we are going to go straight for the Shadow Ball here. Shields are all down. I'm probably going to shield. Yeah, definitely going to shield this. I have, yeah, a lot of energy on this Mew, and going to go straight for another Shadow Ball. Shield advantage, Frostlass, able to take out the Regiseal, which is absolutely huge. And then coming in with the Pelipper, this is probably just going to be a Weather Ball, which I live. What do they have in the back? And it's a Venusaur. So, yeah, really unfortunate. But it's going to one-shot and then going to finish off with Mew. So, there you have it. Able to go 4-1 against Spectre there in the final. And then we clinch our first victory needed to make it to the semifinals. Next up, we will be going against Munchlax and Chill. So if you're interested in more of these formats, definitely subscribe and stay tuned so that you can see how the rest of Go Team Up Worlds wraps up. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.